Well, hello and welcome to another installment of Greats from the Crate and the Art Scene Report. I'm your host, Matthew Spoon, and this is this week's episode for December 12th through 14th. And I'm going to be doing an awesome album review as well as giving you my picks for this weekend in terms of concerts. And it's going to be a great day and a great weekend to go out and get out, so here we go. Alright, so some of you may be thinking, man, this guy, all he does is he reviews vinyl. And what's that mean to me? I mean, it's vinyl, it's a record. I mean, it's got to be all old music, right? Wrong. Well, I'm here to show you that, actually a lot of music labels are re-releasing albums from some of their best artists on vinyl so that people can enjoy that, because there's a huge vinyl resurgence happening right now, and this week's album review is a perfect example. Muse. Showbiz. This was Muse's first full-length album. It was released in 1999, and for those of you who've heard a lot of Muse, you might think that all they are is just, a Queen-esque band repackaged for the masses, and in some ways you're right, totally. However, this album is the album that really helped solidify them as a band, as a power trio, and they're absolutely insane. Every single one of the tracks on this album is pure gold, starting with Sunburn. It comes out the door just roaring like a lion. It's just ridiculous. This album, what makes it different is the fact that the sound, it's much more organic. They weren't quite as set in their ways in the use of like heavy synths and big production and everything like that, and in that respect it's much more organic. And it's one of the rawest albums. I mean, with them being the absolute youngest that you'll ever hear them on a major label release, there's more angst, there's more power, there's more just attitude in these songs than in any other Muse album that I know, really. And it helps solidify not only where they were at that time as an artist, also where they're going. Like the lead singer's use of not only his voice, which is just stratospheric. I mean, the top of his range is just unbelievable. And then his musical prowess on guitar and keys, it really introduces a lot of aspects of their sound. The use of, classical elements, things like arpeggiated piano lines and soaring guitar riffs, along with his one-of-a-kind operatic use of voice over these just really raw rock songs. It's just, there's less anthems in it. In fact, I don't really think that there's any anthems in it, and the sounds on each one of their songs is much more diverse. A good example of that is Falling Down. Falling Down has a lot of elements of blues in it, and so it shows that they're not quite set in their ways yet. There's still room for them to grow, and they're still exploring musically. And the same goes for number 7, track number 7. I highly recommend that you YouTube this entire album. Muse Showbiz is the name of the album. Number 7 is Unintended. So I told you that they're the most raw on this album. They're also some of the most tender songs that I've ever heard them produce. Unintended is a ballad, and the music video is like surreal and beautiful at the same time. So I really, really recommend checking out the music video for Unintended. Following that up is track number 8. Ironically, it's number 8, and it's called Uno. And Uno has elements of Latin music thrown into it as well. And really, there's not one track on this album that isn't a keeper, and it really sets the stage for them as a powerhouse, as them as a force to be reckoned with. I had the privilege of seeing them live here on, I think, like one of their very first US tours at the pageant, and they are the only group that literally rocked so hard that I lost my hearing in one of my ears. And I don't know if it was just because I was so close to the speakers or not, because I wanted to be part of the action. I literally was deaf in one ear for, for the rest of the night. I think it came back the next morning. Yeah, pretty sure it came back the next morning. Regardless, vinyl's not just for old music, it's for new music too. So, go check out your local vintage stores. Check out Dead Wax. Check out Kismet Creative Arts Center on Cherokee. Both those are on Cherokee. Check out some of the great new record shops that are opening all over the area in the Grove. And of course, check out our #1 flagship of record stores, the one that's been here one of the longest, if not the longest. That's Vintage Vinyl and Record Exchange. Vintage Vinyl in the Loop and Record Exchange off of Hampton. Just mind-blowing how much you can get from vinyl. So that's this week's album review. Enjoy, and now on to concert picks. Alright, so on to this week's concerts picks. For those of you who don't know, I'm a musician. I'm a keyboard player, multi-instrumentalist, singer, and have just been in love with music since I even knew what it was. And that means all music, so that's what I got for you guys this week. This weekend is just filled to the brim with awesome stuff to do. So much I'm unable to cover it all, so I'm just going to give you a couple highlights. We've got tonight at the Demo. It's in the Grove. If you haven't been to the Grove, it's an awesome area of town in South City, and there's so many great music venues and bars and all types of nightlife there. It's just not even funny. So Talk's going to be performing with Hell Night, Fumer, and Muzzle. And RFT, what they had to say about Talk is that it bridges the gap between I think, 70s rock and 90s grunge. And I'm probably misquoting, and that's okay, because I'm not the Riverfront Times. So, Talk, they got this Taco Bell song that I heard about. That's gotta be fun. So, I like groups that don't take themselves necessarily too seriously, and they sound like one of them, so I'd say check that out and go support the Demo in the Grove. I'm all about supporting all over the city, so these shows are gonna be from all over the city as well. My next one is a good friend of mine. His name is J.D. Hughes. Fantastic guitar player, and he's just filled with so much heart and soul into his music, and it really shows in how he plays. And he's going to be performing at Cicero's on Saturday the 13th, and Cicero's is located in the Loop. For those of you who don't know, the Loop has been rated as one of the top 10 best streets in America to go to, so totally go check that out. And yeah, that's a great one to go to for the 14th. For the 13th, for Saturday. Saturday, go there. Also, what's going to be playing is the Hobosexuals record release party at Off Broadway with Demon Lover. Alright, so there may be another group playing as well. However, the Hobosexuals, they're the ones that are going to be having the night of their lives. It's it's folk, it's bluegrass, it's just down-to-earth, foot-stomping, good-time music, and it's all about lo-fi that night. So, there's something for everybody. If that's not your thing, check out Demon Lover. Demon Lover is it's like pop on acid. It's just Demon Lover is all over the place. Their influences, good luck finding their influences, and if you can't, that probably makes you such a music nerd that you'll just be having an eargasm while you're listening to the entire show. And they've got a new album out as well. It's called Moody Future. Pick them up. So go support that live music and pick up 2 copies from 2 great local bands here in the area doing something new. Now, to throw things out completely, how about we just top things off with a blast from the past? On Sunday, Rakim of the famous hip-hop duo Eric B. and Rakim is going to be performing at the Mad Magician. So, if you don't know about Eric B. and Rakim, check out their first album, Paid in Full, just to get a little taste of what it is that they have to offer, and get some of that golden era hip-hop into your life, because there's nothing wrong with a little bit of hip-hop. So there it is. That's this week. Whatever you do, just go out, do something, enjoy, see this city for what it is, because it's a great place, and there's always something awesome going on. So if you had a great experience, why don't you tell me about it? I'd love to know. And if you got a recommendation for a concert review or an album, I always want to hear about new music, because that's what I'm here for, to share and to share with. So make it a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week.